Hello, everybody, and welcome back to M&J Games. I am Michael, and welcome to a brand new series. I'm really excited for this one, as this has been a while in the making. A few things before we actually get started looking around. As you can see, tried to fill it out with cars as we're kind of getting a view of the main drive entryway. So this originally was going to be a collaboration park between Jasmine and I, and we filmed 2 episodes. Jasmine's got so many other projects she's working on that she's really kind of dove into that this will be basically a park that I just work on. And I think part of that too was, she said, "Well, you go ahead and get started building." And then, our styles are different, but I think I definitely had a Cedar Fair vibe with this one, as you can see, with a little gatekeeper style inspiration. And so my goal with this park is it's not going to be a very big park because this is the smallest map. It's still going to use 100% everything, but I'm going to try to be a little more detailed with everything. It's not going to have massive coasters. Yes, it is going to have a gatekeeper type coaster, but I don't consider that a massive coaster because it's about 140 feet tall. So it's not a large coaster. And the videos, instead of doing update videos like I did on the last one, where I kind of update as I build, what's going to happen is it's going to be kind of just one overall kind of update with each episode. And then there will be episodes throughout the week of speed builds. And I'm trying to build a lot more on camera. And so those speed builds will be about 50 minutes to an hour long. Just to, I haven't done those before. So that's the goal, to try to have those out. And so for at least the first couple episodes, there will be, like with this one, there'll be 2 speed builds that accompany this one, because as you're going to see, there's a lot that I was able to work on here. And then there's going to be 1 speed build with episode 2. But there's some things that aren't quite complete. So first off, if we kind of look at this road, there's just not any like decoration around it yet. Obviously you got trees, we've got the entryway and exitway, and I put a lot of cars in here, a lot of taxis, trying to make it feel a little bit more lived in instead of just like an empty parking lot. And I haven't named anything yet because I hadn't named the park yet. So that was something to look at. So as you come into the park, and you see this entryway, which is heavily inspired by Carowinds. I looked at a picture of Carowinds entryway and said, yep, that's what I want to try to do, because I've yet to make one of these. So this looks a lot like it. And the park is called Valley America. And I chose that name because, yes, this is a Cedar Fair style park, but it's going to be not on the Carowinds, Kings Island, Kings Dominion, Cedar Point style like my previous park. It'd be a little bit more on one of the smaller parks. That doesn't mean necessarily lesser coasters in a way. It just means it's just going to be a smaller park. So Valleyfair, Valley America, trying to keep it in the same vein. Is I was going to go with Tennessee's Adventure, but I just didn't like that as much as Valley America, because as you can see, there's not going to be a ton of elevation change. I probably will change some, but there's not a lot of woods. And for me, Tennessee, if you actually go out outside the cities, is a very kind of, it's got mountains in eastern Tennessee. It's a lot of nature. So I thought Valley America works. So enough of me talking as we get kind of an overview. So here is the parking lot that I have worked on so far. Let me actually... There we go. Change the time of day. And so essentially you're going to have a couple different routes for cars to go. So this is taxi and drop off. And the taxi and drop off will come this way. Here's the parking fee, general admission if you're a bus. And the taxiway comes here. Yeah, and there's some spots to pull over and so forth. I mean, it's not perfect in terms of perfectly realistic, but it's by far the best parking lot I've made. And I like the detail that I was able to use on this kind of entryway here. You got cash only, credit card, and then we've got bus. Now, I haven't finished this part yet. I do finish it in episode 2, but I hadn't finished this part yet because I was trying to figure out how I wanted this spot to actually look. But the buses will come in this way, and they just drive to this side over here. And one thing I do in a future episode is I go through and change the color of the buses so that they're not all the same. And I have like probably 4 or 5 different colors that are used. But one thing that I really, really am happy with how it turned out is this little restroom here. So if we look at the view, actually, you know what, for a second, let's hop in flip cam mode there's nothing quite like the zoom in mode in flip cam, just to kind of get a real good look at what I worked on. But so as you can see, what I did here is I actually have different boards, the thick wooden beams that I kind of moved in different areas. And so we got a men and women's restroom there. And then if you look here, got the pavilion. Now, I actually have dual entryway. So essentially, I created this walkway for the guest to where they come up this side or on the other side. So you'll see in a second where the other one is. And I just love the look. So we've got a little pavilion here, which will look really good with the coaster behind it and everything. And this would be where these buses or school buses or outings would come and sit down and have their lunch and so forth. So I made these fans based out of street signs, and then that's just a sphere on the bottom. And I did put a light in it, but it doesn't necessarily give off the type of light you would want. So I still got to work on that. But yeah, happy with how that turned out. So then you walk this way, and then you walk to the front of the park. And this is obviously inspired, for those of you that, most of you probably recognize this, Gatekeeper at Cedar Point. And this entryway is not the same as Cedar Point. It's the one from my previous park that I just pulled over into this park and adjusted it to kind of meet the idea of a Gatekeeper type wing coaster. And these things here, I am going to remove them because it kind of creates a little bottleneck to where with some of the guests, and it'd be a little bit crazy once more guests are in the park. And then we enter, and so I will say, because since I'm going to be working on this now, I do like what Jasmine did here a lot. I just might change up the buildings a little bit to kind of a different building style, just a little bit. So we'll see. But this is what Jasmine worked on, and I do really, really like it a lot. And she put a little mini backstage here, which is just music to my ears. And then this building over here, which I think will just be like food and different stuff like that. But as I said, the look of those might change a little bit, but we'll see. So now if we come out and we go to the other side, there's actually, no, we'll just hop out of flip cam mode now. So yeah, so now as you can see, the overview of what the parking lot looks like. Tried to put in a lot of different cars, a lot of different colors. And then we've got the other entryway here. So if you look at it from above, you actually see guests entering the park from both sides. And because I have a restroom over here, even though this way is a little bit longer for them to walk, some of them end up walking this way. And then we have the service road right here. Now, if you're wondering why is there terrain paint around the outside, that's because I have essentially put the boundaries for the park. This is not a very large park. So as you can see, there's not a lot that's going to be able to be put here. So let's see. There we go. I was trying to get the thing off the screen. So like, for example, if we take one of the coasters I made recently, let's just say your creation. I'm trying to think of the one that's not that big of a coaster. Okay, my Hershey Park recreation. Oops. I hate when I accidentally do that. So this is the Hershey Park RMC. That's not that massive of a coaster. It's like 4,000 feet of track, I think. But that takes up a good amount of the park. So I'm going to have to be really strategic about what my coasters look like, how they fit within the confines of the park. and to also have, maintenance areas and all that, because here's the road coming behind here. So I'm going to have to, this could be a little bit of a challenge for me, but it's a challenge that I'm looking forward to because I got a lot of ideas and stuff. I don't know the types of coasters that are going to go here yet, but like I said, we can't have a hyper coaster, giga coaster, stuff like that, because it just won't fit in this park. But yeah, so this is what I've got so far, and as always, love to hear your thoughts and opinions. I think my goal when I set out to do this was I wanted to create one of the most realistic parking lots on console, or one of the best. And like I said, it's not perfect, but I am really happy overall with how it's turned out. And I like the fact that you got kind of an entryway and exit way with the street and so forth, and then how I was able to get how the guests are going to enter the park. So that's the profile and the look of the first park. Wow, I can't speak. The first episode. And as I said, I can't remember the exact days this week, but there is going to be 2 different speed builds. So if you want to watch some of that and see how I went through building this, most of it I was able to get on camera. Every once in a while I might have been building and forgot to record just because I'm not used to it. But yeah, so that's the format of how this one's going to work, is an update episode like this one, and then 1 or 2 speed build episodes following at some point that week. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit the like button and stay tuned for more from Valley America. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.